Alright, what's up everyone? Sean here, and welcome to the June update monthly vlog video thing. And also we're going to be looking back on May and talking about what's in store for June, as pretty much what the other videos have been. And the reason why I'm kind of in this setting is because I just got done filming the review for Godzilla King of the Monsters, which you guys can look forward to soonish, assuming that video comes up before this one, or the other way around. So either way, it'll come up sooner or later. So that's why, yeah. So we still have the lights and the screen up and everything. So maybe I'll put up something in the background, like I don't know, like no, let's do this. This is pick another one. No. Alright, anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the look back on May, and then we'll go into what June has in store for us. So anyways, May didn't really happen, or not much has happened all that much, other than there was supposed to be plans for with myself and friends and stuff like that, but that fell through when it comes to like the Armed Forces Parade, which is a yearly celebration of our military forces kind of coming together, and of all places, fucking Torrance is the place to celebrate that. So we have a parade every time, and all these like vehicles and people like come down and stuff. It's kind of cool. I haven't really been to one in a long ass time, but ever since I was a kid, I did go to a lot of these ones, but as I got older, it got less frequent. And then the last time I went was like sometime, I want to say, in high school. I haven't been to one since. I don't think, but we were trying to plan something around it, but wind up not happening because no one didn't. It just didn't really come together. So anyhow, I just sat home and did some stuff, projects, all that, and also went to Adam's house for a little family to get together with his family, and then he wanted to invite myself and Danny and a couple other people, but it was just me and Danny at that point. So we went over, we had some food. It was awesome food. Like Adam's mom made it, and we had like ribs and beans and a lot of like country comfort style, like comfort food sort of thing, or southern style food. It was just awesome. It was just some awesome food, and I got really stuffed, and had some alcohol here and there, like some scotch to try out. I got to try out some whiskey, and had some whiskey ginger at that too. So yeah, it was a pretty good time. Really chill, really relaxing. Got to play some pool with the boys and all that. Got to, play around with Adam's dog, as always, Shadow. For those who don't know, it's a half lab, half German Shepherd. Those who wanted to really know about the dog. He's already like 9 years old, which is crazy because I've known that dog for ever since it was a little puppy. Right when I think it was like beginning of college for all of us, and that thing was just like sitting in the middle of the car like center console, just sitting there, like it just like perfectly fit into the center or whatever, of the, at least in the back seat anyway. It was like one of those like center consoles that you can like put down and stuff. And Danny's old BMW that was like beat up and stuff, but it was like, the first car, so you always remember it. It definitely had character to it. I kind of do miss that car in a way, but it's for the best that it's not with Danny anymore. Because, oh boy, that thing is it was in interesting conditions. But anyway, he got it for $2,000. So that tells you the wonderful condition of that car was. But from what you guys probably can imagine. But yeah, so that dog is such a wonderful little thing, and grew up to be a big, heavy dog. Well over 150 pounds, I would say, just pure muscle. But now that it's like 9 years old, it's definitely reaching to the point of starting to sag a bit, and starting to lose some of that energy. But he's still Shadow. He's still himself. gets really happy whenever myself and Danny come over. So, and every time it's like a big gap, you know, in between. So every time we come over, that dog is just so happy to see us. I have my little attachment to that dog, and he's a wonderful dog. He's definitely a good boy. Got to see him and everyone else in the family and all of Adam's other family members that I usually see during these get-togethers. So it was like right before Adam's birthday, so I definitely was obligated to go because Adam's birthday was right around the same time for Curtis's wedding. And yeah, so it's been a month since, you know, I last saw, you know, the bachelor and the groomsmen, including myself. So it's been a month since that bachelor party, which I, you know, again, I had a good time and stuff. And now, again, on a Friday, we got, you know, pretty much the last Friday of May, we got together to rehearse the thing. And it went pretty well. I mean, there's really not much to it. At least for the groomsmen anyway, but it was definitely a big time for my friend Curtis, excuse me. And Kurt has been preparing for this day for a very long time since he engaged with his longtime girlfriend, Lauren, who he met in college. Funny how that whole thing played out, you know. And I first met her at a like a club bar thing called the Bugatti around the LA area, and it was during New Year's Eve, and let's just say she said some very interesting things to me that left me at a very weird impression of her. So my first impression of her was it was just strange, man. At the time, I didn't even know they were dating. I didn't even know they were even dating at that time, but he kept it so like on a DL that like when I realized it myself, it was just a big surprise because, you know, I always knew Kurt as like this very quiet guy. He's kind of stiff, very reserved, which was still kind of a recurring thing throughout the years. But over time, I think he grew to be more expressive. He just was a lot more open. Throughout the years, even I think even back during college, I think the whole college experience and Lauren and all that just opened him up, you know, and he was able to just be not a completely different person, but like just there's just more to Curtis now than ever, you know what I mean? And he's still Curtis, so he, you know, he still does a lot of things that I just am so familiar with. It's hilarious, and so he's always the Curtis that I know, which is good at the end of the day. And so yeah, so they've been going out for what, a good 6 to 7 years, and finally, you know, he proposed a question, and they got engaged. So after that whole bachelor party thing and now the whole shindig, the day has pretty much finally come. And yeah, after that rehearsal, we had dinner at this like Italian restaurant. It was okay. The food was like kind of on the okay side. It was like very average in comparison to like the atmosphere of the place. It was like, it looked fancy. It was called like Place or something. It was like my place. It means my place in Italian, pretty much. I don't know how to pronounce it precisely, but I think it pretty much means my place in Italian. So that's, you know, that was the restaurant we went. Had a 3-course meal or something, and again, it was all right. Then after that, you know, or the next day, pretty much, it was the big day. We were getting ready, took a lot of photos. We were just like all thinking about him just getting married. You know, it's the big day for him, and it has finally come to this. So once the ceremony began, or right before the ceremony began, I should say, of course, his fiancée Lauren, you know, had let some tears out. It was very emotional for her. But I think by the time the wedding was happening, you know, after we all did our thing for the ceremony, just like, you know, get into our formation, whatever, at the arch. We have the minister or priest, whatever, however you want to refer, aficionado. I don't know. We're all just standing there waiting for the bride, just walking down, and after she was handed over by her father and all that stuff, man, it was definitely a pretty emotional day for a lot of people. I kept it together, of course. I don't really like cry or anything, but on the inside, obviously, I felt like pretty fuzzy. You know what I mean? Like, one of my closest friends, he's finally getting married. He's pretty much like completed that chapter in his life now, and now he's just gonna be a husband for the rest of his life with Lauren, and they are really a happy couple. I can definitely am confident to say that they will be together for the rest of their lives, and I think this was a really good day. Now during the reception, it was the usual, like the dinner and all that stuff, and then my friend John, who was the best man, gave his speech and all, and given with the material they had to work with, he did a really good speech. I wish I kind of recorded it a bit, but it all kind of just happened, and I just let the moment play itself. And I think you guys can get the picture, so maybe it's not necessary. But oh no, though, it was a really good day. Now I always hated dancing, and but this time this is Kurt's wedding, so I think it was pretty much an obligation to have myself on the dance floor and kind of just move around a bit. I honestly do not like it. I am not a dancer. I do not consider myself a carpet shredder, or I don't really cut the rug, if you know what I mean. I honestly do not like it. Slow dancing, I don't mind doing anything like that, like very subtle or whatever, but I do not get myself in the middle of the dance floor. That's that much I can say. But I did a little bit. I just kind of waited it out for the rest of the night. But the after party was was probably the best part in comparison, I guess, to the reception. It was at Lauren's family home, and her family is very hospitable. They're very nice, like to the point where you're like, hey, can I be adopted? Because like there's just so much cool things at that house. They offered fucking cigars, whiskey, just a bunch of food, and they had Taco Bell there. It was like really funny. We're like kind of just like making this like reoccurring joke of how like we were so looking forward to Taco Bell, because Taco Bell is definitely the greatest thing on the planet, right? It's not just fast food, man, that kind of thing. It was just like mostly out of irony, but like we're just still like pretending to be like so anticipated for a Taco Bell. I mean, admittedly, it's pretty good on very certain nights or whatever. Definitely good stoner food, I guess. It was just hilarious every time we said, "Oh yeah, Taco Bell, dude! I can't wait." But you know what? Funny enough, I felt that Taco Bell tasted a lot better than the wedding food that we got. I mean, it wasn't bad or anything. It was just like really plain and average. It was like nothing, like there was no character to the food or any of the sort. I just kind of ate it, and I'm just like, all right, that was it. But not only Taco Bell was there, like they had some homemade chili, rice, and hot dogs going. So man, I had a really good chili rice and weenies, and had some cheese and onions on top of that. I'm like, dang, this is food right here, like as simple as it is, and on top of some Taco Bell. And after that, had some had some cigars and all that. They were good cigars too, and it was free too. It was like offered. It was like, it was offered to me, so I couldn't turn it down. And I smoked that whole thing pretty much. Like, it was a wonderful time. I had some I forget what it was called. It was like Clyde something whiskey. That was awesome. That was a really good like relaxation point, and we kept that up till like 3 a.m, just talking and stuff like that. It was cool. That was just really nice, and yeah, I finally gave I had this gift. I was just sitting in my car for a very long time, on that day. It just felt like a really long day for some reason. I think it was just like we were all just anticipating Kurt to finally be married. So I don't know. I guess it just all added up to be a long, happy, and just eventful day. I guess I don't know how else to put it. It was just it was a great turnout. No one fell. There was no accident. There's no hiccups or anything like that. It went all smooth. The speeches were great. It was a good day though. It was a good day, and in that after party was such a good way to wrap it up. I smoked that whole cigar, had some whiskey, and I was still able to drive home. And you know, and the best man, John, was carpooling with me, so we kind of had some good talk and on the way back. So, and then the next day, funny enough, I watched Godzilla, and then here I am, you know, with this set. And I will leave the review video to really express how I felt about Godzilla. Now, I liked it. I enjoyed it. But I'll let the video speak for itself once that is up, if it isn't already. I'll let that speak for itself. That was pretty much all of May, I believe, from what I can remember on top of my head. There were no games. There were no like. It was like really nothing else. It was like really little movies to like, or no, not the movies, excuse me. There was like just little to no games at all. I think for me right now, it is the dry season. I know there's like Sonic Team Racing, but I have no like crazy interest in that game at all. But maybe once it like goes on sale or something, I'll get it. Heard some good things, but I heard some very interesting like mixed things about it too. So it is like I guess it is what it is. It's just Sonic in a cart or something. I don't know. It does have some team aspects to it, so it does add some like dynamic, I guess, from outside looking in. But otherwise, there's really just not much when it comes to games. Now, when it comes to movies, I think no, John Wick was definitely one of them. And I definitely enjoyed watching that. It was such a great action flick. If it's still around in theaters, definitely go catch it, because like the sound effects and everything are awesome. It is a great theater movie. When it comes to Aladdin, definitely like I didn't enjoy it as much, but it's like a completely different movie, so why even make that comparison? But anyway, I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, I guess as an experience in a theater, I did enjoy John Wick more, but Aladdin is definitely not as bad as people thought it was gonna be, just because it's live action of a really good animated film by Disney. It doesn't live up to it completely, of course, but I think they knew it wasn't going to be the case, so it's just like something they wanted to make of its own. They would just want to make a film of its own thing, and I think they did a good job for what it is. It's still Aladdin, though, like, of course, you know, as a film bearing the same name, but it still has some different, like, kind of distinct things about it. It's kind of neat on some aspects. They do cover some different parts of Aladdin that the animated film would never cover, I guess, in a way. But otherwise, it's not a bad film. You could probably wait to wait for it to come to like what is it called, like Disney Plus or whatever it's called, that subscription service thing where you can watch like every Disney film on it for like, you know, whatever, $8 or $10 a month or whatever. That subscription based sort of plan. Aladdin was overall like pretty enjoyable for what it is. Just try not to think of it too much when it comes to the Aladdin animated film. Just try not to make too much of a comparison to it, because it already knows that it's not going to live up to it. And Will Smith was good as Genie. He makes his own Genie, and I think it worked. It was just pretty much like the 90s Will Smith that I really loved back then, and he just made it work as the Genie of that Aladdin film. So on that part, I do enjoy it, and I think I gave it like a 7 out of 10, and I think it's still a 7 out of 10. And John Wick was like a strong 9 out of 10, I think. You know, I think I gave it a 9 out of 10 in that review. You know, it's kind of hard to like exactly remember the scores, but I think that's how I felt like when I made that review. But anyway, definitely, there were some movies to watch, and last but not least, Godzilla. That was like definitely my most anticipated film for May, and I think it paid off. Let's just say. But again, if the review video has not come out already, please look forward to it. I think that'll be a lead into as to what is going to happen for June. Wait. I did my first art stream in a long time. This time around, I will stream myself trying to like figure out Clip Studio Paint, and because I bought it for like a pretty good price back when, and I was like kind of lost at first, but then I started to get the hang of it. At least for the basics anyway, and I just drew like really quick like doodles of Sonic and Hiryu from Azure Lane. I mean, obviously Sonic is not from Azure Lane, but you know what I mean. So Sonic and Hiryu of Azure Lane, and I did like a color pencil sort of style like of coloring, so it kind of looks like something you would see like in K through 12 sort of art style, which is kind of neat. I think Clip Studio does a really good job like emulating like different types of ink and brush and stuff like that. I think a lot better at the end of the day than Photoshop. Although Photoshop does some things a little better when it comes to art, maybe, but otherwise, Clip Studio Paint, I do understand why, and it's definitely catered towards drawing more Photoshop in the long run. So I think that's why it was really good for me to now take the time to start learning, and I'm still learning, so I'm gonna just continue to pick up things on Clip Studio Paint for a long while. So it'll be an interesting journey because from this point on until Judgment in June, end of June, I will be doing art streams more often. I'm trying to like cut down on the gaming streams just to like kind of experiment on things, because like I wanted to draw for a very long time, but I never really get the chance to like do it on my own free time. And I just thought, hey, you know, while I'm streaming, it's like, why not just do it then? You know what I mean? And when it comes to games, I take too much time on each one. I feel, especially with Tales of Vesperia, that was like pretty long. You know what I mean? And when it comes to games like Yakuza, I can finish them quick just because like of how it is, what kind of type of game it is, and I can just keep playing and playing and playing every day, and for streaming and also. Or for streaming also, so I am able to finish those games like a lot quicker. But you know, for JRPGs, I think it's just a lot harder to do that for streaming sort of games. So as much as I would love to continue streaming with JRPGs, I think I'm gonna really cut back on that. I think what I'm gonna do is just play JRPGs whenever I actually feel like it, rather than forcing myself to play those JRPGs on streams. I definitely want to do something else for streaming, like either art or mobile games, or just like certain type of other game, like you know, the upcoming Animal Crossing or Pokemon. You know, I love Pokemon, so I have no problem streaming it. But but when it comes to like, you know, games that I do plan to do like, you know, big reviews on them, those tend to be like the streaming games, and I only stream like once or twice a week, so that means I can only get to play those games once or twice a week. It's hard to finish these games, you know, a lot quicker if it's gonna be a streaming game. So I think what I'm gonna do is just, you know, again, I'm just gonna just stream those type of games whenever I just actually feel like it, rather than force myself to do so. And you know, and not worry about like, oh, people should, you know what's going on with the story and stuff like that. So and care so much about continuation and all that. So I'm gonna try to throw that out of the window and just play those games just completely on my own time, and finish those games a lot faster, so that way I can get those reviews out a lot faster, because I really do want to continue with reviews and stuff like that. It's just trying to incorporate them with streaming, it just takes a long time. So my plan for this month, pretty much, and beyond that, is just play games that I really do feel like playing on streams. And if it's a game that I do plan to review, try to finish it quick. You know what I mean? Like, unless I plan to stream it every single day, probably won't happen as much, except for, you know, games like Judgment. We'll see how a Judgment turns out. If it's a really good game, I'll definitely stream it every day till I finish it, and that way I can you know, do my reviews a lot faster, you know. And so yeah, that's pretty much the plan. Cut back on a lot more games, let's just say, and I am gonna emphasize more on art. I think maybe I'm able to pick up a different kind of traction when it comes to art streams. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, my motivation to draw is definitely still there right now. So I'll definitely draw something at least once or twice a week, hopefully. So for streaming anyway. And yeah, hopefully that goes well. And yeah, speaking of Judgment, yeah, that's gonna be the game I'm gonna be focusing on for June. It's gonna be right at the end of June, so it might like intersect with July. But I think July has like no games other than Fire Emblem. And yeah, I don't want to talk about Fire Emblem here, but June really does not have any games for me except for Judgment, so that's kind of good. So I can just focus on art streaming for the time being. And so that's pretty much the plan for streaming on that. And when it comes to June, I do have some plans when it comes to the YouTube channel. One of them is the Tales of Vesperia review. Again, because it took so long to finish, that's why I'm now starting to do the review thing for Vesperia. I already recorded the dialogue. I already recorded like the important bits, which is the dialogue, like the audio stuff, and also the video side of things as well, with myself on camera with the green screen. I recorded that part too, so that's all. Like, all the filming parts are done. It's just a matter of putting it all together and stuff with the in-game footage and blah blah blah, you name it. So it is gonna be a more heartfelt one, because Vesperia was a game that, you know, I've been waiting for a long time. So, and I'm really happy with it, of how it turned out. So that's why I really wanted to, like, you know, put a little more into it than I would with the other videos when it comes to what the things I have to say about it, especially with the history part. I like doing like I kind of like doing the history parts of it, because it feels like I'm doing like some sort of like documentary, which I like doing. It's just kind of fun. I love like diving into history of like things I like, and that is definitely one of them. So Tales of Vesperia review is definitely coming up in June. Obviously, we do have plans for E3, especially with the podcast. We'll definitely talk about it right before, and of course right after as well. Funny enough, because the next time we record is like during the E3 State of Play or whatever, or EA Play, excuse me, not E3 Play. EA Play is going to happen on Saturday, which is the same day we're going to record for the next podcast episode as we speak. I believe there's really nothing else going on, so we might as well just take the opportunity to knock out all the smaller news that came before it, and then the next time after that, we can just focus on E3 altogether, which is good. I think we have a pretty smooth course when it comes to the podcast, hopefully, but when it comes to E3 itself, I think what I'm gonna do is probably gonna do just post thoughts on it. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever do reactions on it, but if things line up for me, maybe I'll do reactions. But it's just, I don't know how I feel about doing reactions for that long, especially for where it comes to, like, you know, conferences that I don't really I feel like I'm feeling hardcore towards. The only one I feel hardcore towards is Nintendo, to the point where I would probably take the day off for just to do a reaction video for the Nintendo Direct around E3 time. Like, that's how much I love Nintendo. But when it comes to the other ones, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm gonna take the day off or whatever about those. And I think by the time I get back from work, if I really want to do a reaction video, it's gonna take long. because it's just long as the conference itself. But I don't know. I mean, not too much editing going on with that, but I don't know. I may just do post thoughts on it. I don't know, or afterthoughts maybe. Maybe that's what it's called. But anyway, I definitely don't feel as confident when it comes to reaction videos on those conferences this time around, especially with like Sony not being at E3. It's like really weird. So I don't know. Let's just see how I feel about it. It's if I'm gonna do a reaction video, it's definitely gonna be with like a solo reaction, like with myself, of course, and it may have some people in there. I'm not gonna make any guarantees, so we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what will line up for me. So, but yeah, we're definitely gonna do something for E3, that's for sure. And then after that, I think Judgment is the next big thing in this month. I've been very much looking forward to the game itself. I know I had some weird hiccups with the actor and stuff like that. The whole situation with the cocaine and all that. I guess cocaine is one hell of a drug, isn't it? To the point where, you know, you gotta change the look of the character. I think the voice is still there, which is really weird. But yeah, you know, given that the limited time that they had, I guess they just don't want to. I guess as long as it doesn't depict the character's face, it's okay. But the voice is still there. I don't know about that, but. Anyway, the game is still coming out at the same time or same day, you know, which is due June 25th, I think. Don't quote me on that completely, but I think it's on the 25th. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. I would love to do a big review on it, or in-depth review. And I will stream it probably once or twice, unless I really like the game. So I'll probably like stream it every single day until I'm done with it. Otherwise, if I'm going to play it, I'm just going to play it offline, you know, or on my own, and that's it, you know. And I'll be sure to record like game footage for it, like just pure raw gameplay footage. So that way you don't hear the sounds from me or anything like that. It's just pure raw game footage, and that will be be used in the purposes of reviewing and stuff like that. So I hope the game is good. I don't know where my expectations are. Probably in the middle. I don't want to place it too high, just because, like, yeah, of course it's. Just because it's coming from the same team as Yakuza, and it has some famous actors in there still, that I actually know from Japan, not in real life, but like, you know, I just know of them. Excuse me, I know of them, and it's gonna be cool though. If it plays out, if it all plays out well. Let's see where we're at. So almost 40 minutes. So I think that's pretty much it. I think we covered definitely everything. We definitely covered what happened in May. Oh, wait a minute. Let's do our traditional little. Alright, so quick review of May. We did Mortal Kombat. We did the Let's Play of it. That was really fun. We also did the review for Avengers. That was like the long anticipated movie for Marvel, and I wanted to really have Danny come back for that one, so we were able to pull that off. And not only that, we did for Godzilla as well, so good to have him back. And then we also did more podcasts, of course. One of them we talked about like Borderlands 3 and all that stuff. That was a really exciting thing. And then, oh yeah, there was a Sony State of Play I did a reaction to. And what else did we do? Hold on a second. Oh wait, oh yeah, how could I forget? Detective Pikachu. Oh man, I'm a fraud. I'm sorry. Detective Pikachu was the other movie that I watched. And yeah, like, come on, like Detective Pikachu and Godzilla in the same month. Like, hello, that was like the month I was looking forward to. That's right, May was the month to look forward to when it comes to movies, anyway. So, man, how can I forget about Detective Pikachu, right? I think it was just so safe for a film that it kind of just slide over my head. And if it was like really bad, then it would be a lot more imprinted in my head than, you know, something for a film that's like good, not very good or bad or anything. It's just good. So yeah, I did Detective Pikachu for a review anyway. And yeah, so yeah, in case I haven't mentioned already, I finished off Tales of Vesperia, which was nice. And then and then a couple more podcast episodes and the other movie reviews I did on my own with John Wick and Aladdin. All right, anyway, I guess I do want to share this, I guess, for one last thing. when we're recording the one of the podcast episodes for in May, it was just me and Mitchie, and we were like talking about like E3 predictions and stuff like that. We had a pretty good episode. It was like, we had a good thing going on. Despite only 2 people. And of course, of all times, Windows, and also Streamlabs, OBS, whatever. Streamlabs decided to say fuck you, and the file was never ever completed officially. So I essentially lost the recording of that. So we had to re-record it on the following Saturday, and it kind of worked out, I guess, because we were able to push to Saturday, and now one of the Saturdays is right after E3, so we can just talk about it right after E3. So I guess it was like a blessing in disguise, but it's still like pretty frustrating of how that happened. So if I haven't said already here, what I'm gonna do from now on when it comes to podcasts is I'm just gonna stream it to a Heidi account, and that's gonna be where my backup is gonna be recorded. And if it doesn't record directly onto my computer, for whatever damn reason, it's gonna be on the stream archives for sure. So the stream archive is definitely there for freaking goddamn backup. So hard lesson learned. I think a certain someone was like trying to drill it into my head to stream it, but I was kind of being stubborn. I'm like, it's okay, we can just record it, it'll be fine. And yeah, I had to pay for that one. But anyway, there was one more thing. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot about it when my real life stuff in May. Been keeping up with my workout, I guess. So here's some videos here. I'm just gonna throw it in there, and that's pretty much all I'm gonna all I have for the channel vlog and stuff. So sorry, it's all like all over the place right now. Now it's like everything, all the other like bits of the memory start to come back in my head, and like now that I think Detective Pikachu honestly was like the one that like sparked, I hate to say it, sparked my memory, and brought all the smaller bits in there. So anyway, so yeah, keeping up with my workouts, been working still, at the same job, and yeah, that is definitely it for sure. So sorry about that if I'm like all over the place, just like a lot of these videos anyway. But anyway, thank you guys so much. If you guys have any like feedback or any comments related to this video or this channel even, or any suggestions for future videos, please let me down below. I'd love to check them out, and I'll definitely keep note of those. And thank you guys so much for your continuing support. Really appreciate it as always. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, whatever, all that usual YouTube nonsense. And of course, check out the sponsorship for Loot Crate and Into the AM. Those of course really help out the channel, as you guys still get something out of it too, with that 10% off of the coupon code and all that fun stuff. So anyways, this has been the look back on May and the channel update for June of 2019. We're already in the halfway point, guys. Things are just starting to pick up now when it comes to speed. I think it's starting to go, and time is gonna fly, guys. So Evo and stuff is not too far away, man. It's literally like, yeah, June, July, August. Yeah, so we literally have 3 months now. So it's like we're just literally just a couple months away, I think. So yeah, I can't wait for that. I think that's like pretty much the next big thing for this year for me, for like real life stuff. So anyways, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sean out.